Welcome to A New View. We are Restored Ministries, and this week we're talking simplicity. Can we really have more by having less? That's a big topic, the simplicity about being minimalist and all those things. It really is, you think having less, can you have more? For me, I think that's very true. In my own life, I was a big collector. I wasn't not like a hoarder, but I collected a lot of things, and I liked little, knickknacks, little knickknacks, and that was so much to dust. That was so many things. And then I know that when God really started impressing upon me, we did some home renovations in 2012 when He said to stop working outside of the home. I had only been working part-time for almost 5 years again after leaving the corporate world in 2005. But I was like, okay, I'm staying home and do some home repairs. And He really had me really simplify a lot of things. And I have to say, there is a correlation to your spiritual health when you start living more simply and stop crowding out things around, in your environment and things. So for me, I really felt like the more I simplified, the more my spiritual health was better. And then just overall peace in your home.
Well, I can definitely relate to that. And I think for me, I'll even take it in another direction or another view, is that for me, the stuff becomes an idol.
Yes.
For me. And so if it's a collection or if it's a room that I'm finishing or just a space, I'll be thinking about it.
Right.
And then I find myself thinking about the stuff, how to organize the stuff, how to, looking for more stuff, whatever it is, and that becomes the idol in my life.
Right.
And so then I find that the stuff is crowding out what I should be doing and taking time. Then you got to clean the stuff.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. So and I can't wait to talk about later on in this about what to do to get rid of the stuff.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because my daughter's real into the whole minimalist. I think there's some documentaries, some different things. She's like, and she totally can do that. Her stuff is so ultra simplified, and I'm not sure I could go there. As far as there's some people that say to simplify. You only put what kitchen utensils you used in the last 2 weeks, and that's all you do. You get rid of all the rest. And I'm like, 6 months from now, I might be baking, I might be doing I might need that.
Yeah.
But then they say to do it with your closet too, but I'm like, I don't know. So sometimes I say, but I do practice the rule, if stuff comes in, something has to go out. It doesn't matter. If something comes in, you need to let go of something. Something needs to go to the Goodwill, you need to give somebody something else, take it somewhere else. And especially if you have multiple homes, if you have, vacation homes, we have a country place, we have a place in Rockford, different things, and so we used to keep places in the garage that said this goes there, this goes, but then those places get full. Yeah, so then it's just like crazy. But there's 2 simplicity quotes that are just my favorite, and I love quotes, but this first one is by Ann Voskamp, and she's a famous author, speaker, kind of things, and she's had some great books, but she says, simplicity is never a matter of our circumstances. It's always a matter of our focus. So that has always hit me and thought, it's not necessarily our circumstances, because our circumstances could be, if you've ever done home renovations, I use that as an example. If you've ever, when we redid our kitchen, and I cook every day, so it was stressful. My circumstance was my kitchen is crazy. And things, but what is your focus? Okay, your focus can be, this is crazy, this is stressing me out, I'm just going to order takeout for 6 weeks, which was not practical, it's not practical or healthy, so it's how do we make healthy meals that we can set them up at other places? So to me, it was changing my focus to say, this is going to be beautiful when it's done. Right now it's a dust mess and it's on my last nerve, but breathe, focus, it's going to be over. Let's just do things a little bit differently. The second quote that I like is by this Leo Babausta, and I am not sure where I got this quote, but it says, identify the essentials and eliminate the rest. Now that is a strict way to simplify things.
That is really strict.
But that is a short quote, and sometimes I'll find myself, if I'm shopping and I'm just kind of I used to have an issue where I was a shopaholic, and I had a problem where I just bought and bought and bought, and so that's not really good for our family. And so I really now, I pray before I go, and I say, if this is something, sometimes it could be my heart's desire, sometimes I'll splurge, but I really say, is this an essential? And sometimes I'll walk around, I'll have things, and at the last minute I'll say, that probably wasn't an essential. That's probably not something I need. Let me eliminate that. Let me walk back to the spot, put it back where it goes, And my kids are funny because sometimes they'll be with me and I'll say, here, put this back. And they'll be like, put it on the shelf. I go, no, back to where we got it, and things. But it's just a discipline. But that is really strict if you're doing that in your home or things like that to identify the essentials and eliminate the rest.
And sometimes you need a friend.
Yeah, to help you.
Because I know that when we moved from Connecticut to Texas, we had in Connecticut a basement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we lived there for 11 years.
Wow.
And so, where do you put stuff? Well, you put it in the basement. Where does the stroller go? The high chair that you don't use, everything else? You put it in the basement.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, you look in the basement and say, oh my word, I don't know where to start. And I remember saying, I knew it was sinful. I knew having all this stuff that I wasn't using, that someone else would love to use, was sinful. And I knew I needed to clean it out and donate it, but I didn't know how to start. Because I had that fear of taking everything out and then not knowing what to do with it.
Right.
And so I actually called upon a friend who is phenomenal at organizing.
That's good.
And she just kept saying, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And it was so freeing, but I couldn't do it myself. And so for me, I needed a friend to come over and help me simplify.
Right.
Because I will talk about, you talked earlier about identifying the essentials. I can talk myself in a circle over that. So I actually need a friend to say, that is not an essential.
That's good, yeah. I have to really be in the mindset because my husband is a pack rat, and that is probably the only thing we ever argue about is, honey, you need to get rid of that. And he's like, but I love this and that. But you're not really trusting God to bring better when those are falling apart. I mean, those I wouldn't even donate. I mean, it could be like shoes, everything like that, but he holds on to them. And we have an attic. In Texas we have attics. We don't have basements, but we have an attic full of those half things that he was going to fix or he's going to do.
The projects.
Yes, the projects. He doesn't get rid of anything. And so I tell him, I'm like, kids, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm apologizing for Dad because one day we've been in this house almost 21 years now. And wow, he's cleaned it out over time, but I'm pretty sure I haven't gone up there in a while. I'm pretty sure it's pretty big. It's pretty big. So I have to be in the mindset. And he says, I'm just a chunker. You just chunk it all out like that. And I'm like, because I'm trusting God's going to bring me when I need the new one, and it can bless somebody else,
I just had an experience with my Tupperware, and this is one thing I think that everyone,
Let it go.
all of a sudden you have like 100,000 pieces, and you don't know why you have that many, but you need them. And I went through and I got rid of some that just, okay, y'all go and look at your Tupperware, because sometimes you've used them in the microwave a few too many times, and they get a little funky on the inside. Maybe people stirred to where bacteria can grow in there more than it should. You just pitch it. I know there's a warranty and stuff, but just pitch it. You don't need another one.
Right.
Don't donate those.
I got rid of all.
Yes.
Don't donate those.
Nobody wants them.
Nobody wants that.
I got so much stuff, and I went to get a container for leftover dinner the other day, and I opened the cabinet, and it was a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
It was like a third of what I had been looking at before that, and I was just like, wow, that's nice. Easy decisions.
Easy to clean, easy to put up.
I'm completely
all those
convicted.
things, yes.
That was one thing I knew I had to do. My in-laws are in town right now. I said, before they come, I really need to clean out that cabinet. And I didn't. So now I know how to do it.
So that's really interesting that, sometimes we'll think that, having all this stuff is great, or it seems, counter intuitive, or, what do you call that, that less you can have more. But I think the whole thing about simplicity is having less frees you up for more time. More time to say, I don't have to go through 100 lids to find my Tupperware. Less decisions. It's right there, Less to dust, less to do. So tell us about simplicity. Tell us how you view that. Share us and tell us about, what are some ways that you simplified your life and how it improved either your spiritual health or your physical health, or what it did to just encourage you. We'd love to hear from you. # share your view, a new view on simplicity this week. Take care.